So the exhibition is called Poetics of Encryption, and it's looking at the dark side of technology. I think these days we are in a different space psychologically in society than we were maybe 10 years ago. I think we're much more skeptical about technological development, where it's leading us. The utopianism is perhaps fading a little bit. And that kind of runs in the face of what Silicon Valley's been telling us about technology opening up the world, making it more transparent. In fact, I think we get the sense that there's so much of these new systems that we don't understand. And even if we could understand them, we're not given the keys. We're not able to look under the hood and observe the control mechanism. So artists are responding to that, and we see that in the exhibition. The exhibition is divided into 3 chapters. The first is called Black Sight. Black Sight relates to a feeling of being locked in, surrounded by technology, captured, buried alive perhaps. There's no way out. Sometimes you feel that in your everyday life. The second chapter is called Black Box, and it's really the flip side of that. You're locked out. You'd like to know more. You'd like to penetrate to the heart of the matter, perhaps recover the hidden truth or the bit of information that has been denied you. You want to investigate, but somehow you hit a wall. You can only deal with the interface. That's the black box. The third chapter is called Black Hole, and it's about the scrambling of these 2 interactions, inside and outside. You don't really know where you are in relation to the technology. Perhaps all the extant categories break down. And I think the black hole is an interesting metaphor, because around black holes, space and time, these fundamental categories, they're all up for grabs. They dissolve into perhaps a kind of complexity. And I think that complexity is a real challenge to make sense of. We're surrounded by technology. We use it for the most intimate functions of our life. We use it to get around, think about these ride-sharing apps. We use it maybe to find love, think about online dating or dating apps. But also think about how financial markets are controlled by automatic trading systems. Suffice to say, we have to deal with technology even if we don't know anything about it. We're not technical specialists. We're unable to write code. We're unable to really explore the engineering within our devices, within these systems. But we still have to find a way to talk about them. We have to find a way to make sense of these systems to one another. So we have to use metaphors. We have to supply images. And artists are the image makers. They're the ones who find new images that are perhaps appropriate to our time. And so the works in the exhibition really, they're all tokens for how we could talk about technology, how we could talk about these new developments. But they're in the language that we understand, the oldest language of all, and that's images. I think the exhibition is trying to take stock of how artists are making sense of a cultural space that's completely in flux. It's in flux because culture itself is not necessarily in human hands anymore. Even the ability to generate an image, which was for the longest time that was the special function of the artist, it's now completely free from our control, potentially. And this is naturally a challenge to a lot of our preconceptions about authorship, about subjectivity, and also about meaning. When images, when narratives, when stories are let loose from human hands, and when they can be automatically generated, then we perhaps lose grip of the stories we've been telling ourselves, the stories that keep our culture together, even if only in a tenuous way, given all the other modern developments. And so, there's a mood. I think it's a dark mood. I think you'll find that in this exhibition, we're looking at a dark mood around the fact that technology is not particularly in our control. So that's prevalent in the exhibition, and I think that it's an important corrective to the utopian or like the boosterist claims by Silicon Valley that the world is getting more open, that it's becoming more transparent, that everything's improving, that perhaps that AI will really usher in a new golden age. There has to be a space for a critical disagreement with that. I think that's probably in this exhibition.
And show you what was right, but I'm not, and you don't love